Hello, hello. Let's see what the Starseed Oracle deck has to say for us today, shall we? If you are seeing this message, this is most likely for you. So, let's see what comes out. They're very slippery today, so maybe there's something that you're just really dying to talk about. I'm not sure. Okay, so when I cut the deck, the theme overall here is Inner Earth. You'll survive this, and new solutions and beginnings are coming. Okay, so yeah, if you're going through a hard time or feeling like stuck or stagnant and you can't see the answer right now, the solution, the way out of whatever kind of negative feeling you've been feeling, just remain patient and know and trust in the divine, trust that what you need to know to come up with a solution is on its way to you. Sometimes certain situations, it's not like it's not a character flaw. It's not some mistake or something on your part that you can't see the path forward, or that maybe like the way that I am right now, like I'm feeling someone's energy out there, and it's hard to even conceptualize or put into words what it is that you're struggling with. So yeah, maybe you're feeling like some kind of disconnect between your mental frame, or sort of higher up in your consciousness, and your throat, if you will, in terms of taking whatever mental fog or kind of lack of clarity mentally and channeling it or funneling it down through your throat. You might be struggling with that a little bit. But just rest assured that, yeah, there's not some character flaw or something wrong with you or anything of that nature going on. That sometimes, I mean, all the time, things have to happen in some level of divine timing. So you really just need patience right now. There's nothing that you're missing. There's no mistake that you're making. You're not doing anything wrong. Just kind of try to sit tight and wait for the answers to come to you, or some, sort of like something might be marinating, if you will, in the background, and you can't see it and you don't know it, even within your own mind, or just things happening in the universe that you can't know and don't have the ability to see, essentially, going on or at play that relate to you or affect you in some way. And it's like the whatever is having to happen in the background hasn't kind of gotten to you or caught up with you yet for a reason, right? So yeah, just trust in that. Okay, that was a long intro. Thanks for being patient here. All right, so the first card in the I read the card prematurely. The first card out is Jump In. Andromedan energy, adventure, and say yes to change. Wow. Is that stunning or what? This is really perfect right now because many of you might already know this, but we have a total lunar eclipse, full moon in Scorpio happening today. So happy eclipse season. If you know anything about eclipse season and the symbolism about them, you'll know that it's not the easiest energy to handle, but there's always some level of fate or destiny at play. So, and actually, yeah, what I was saying before could definitely be tapping into this eclipse energy, especially because it's in Scorpio, and Scorpio is all about sort of things that have sort of been in a fog or mentally unclear or whatnot, coming to the surface, and also things within you, like maybe feelings, or especially, nobody likes to hear this, but especially sometimes some of the harder stuff, like if somebody upset you recently, or more historic types of things, like any trauma that you've experienced, heartbreak, the big stuff, the stuff that a lot of us tend to sometimes kind of attempt to throw in like the trunk, and like a non-treasure chest, if you will, like just throw it in the chest and close the lid and lock the key and put the key somewhere that you won't find, and what have you. Scorpionic energy, Scorpio season, especially a Scorpio eclipse, especially a Scorpio eclipse that happens to be a lunar eclipse and not a solar eclipse, are all inclined sort of threefold, or however many layers I just listed out, all sort of abundantly say, yeah, as far as Scorpio energy is concerned, we found the key, we're putting it in the trunk, we're unlocking the thing, the lid is gonna fly off, and the shit's coming up. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news there, but it's not bad news. It's really not. It's all for your highest good, and that's kind of the benefit. If nothing else, sort of hitch your wagon onto that train, and realize that in general, all the time, there really aren't any coincidences, but especially around eclipse season. If and when things are happening for you that are feeling significant, like feeling like kind of some level of significant shift or change, or even if you can't put your finger on it and you sort of feel like everything is the same old in your world and in your space and life, with all the key players and within you, etc. Even if you feel that way, you might just kind of like feel something in the air, if you will, of just like subtle shifts, like changes don't always come in some big explosive, like you're just innocently sitting there and all of a sudden you get this like, A-bomb on your lap or something. Sometimes it's really subtle. Sometimes you might, it could be something so small as noticing or recognizing that in a certain kind of pattern of situation or circumstance, maybe in the past, you know yourself well enough to know that you always responded or reacted to a coworker being annoying, or a friend kind of getting on your nerves, or when your partner does XYZ and you like roll your eyes in your head or whatever. These certain things that you always, you're conscious and aware enough to recognize, I always respond to this in XYZ way. And for whatever reason, I don't really know why, but for some reason lately, or in the past couple of weeks, I've been responding differently, or I haven't been reacting as much, or it really used to bother me that they would do that, or that they would say that, but it's not affecting me as much anymore, or I'm kind of feeling like in a way I see right through whatever they're sort of projecting or putting out there on the surface. I used to take it personally when they would act obnoxious or rude or whatever that really didn't have anything to do with me, but it was offensive and not cool. And so, or it would hurt my feelings, or whatever was at play. it just used to have so much stronger of an effect on me. And now, like, I don't, maybe you don't even know or realize how you got from that past point A to this present point B. But naturally, during, around this time period, you've just kind of recognized, like, not only am I not taking it personally, I'm not really getting as upset anymore. Maybe I'm getting kind of used to it, but it feels bigger than that. It feels like I'm seeing right through the way that they're acting. So, if they're being rude, I'm not thinking to myself, like, what the hell is their problem? I'm thinking, oh, well, they have X, Y, and Z going on in their life or situation. I know that that's at play. They might not even be telling me about that, but I just know that that's at play. And so I can just kind of like see right through this facade of annoyingness that they're sort of spewing out at me. And I definitely know it has nothing to do with me. That's freaking amazing. That's also got Scorpio eclipse energy written all over it. Because if you know anything about Scorpios, or if you have any Scorpio placements in your chart, Scorpios are highly intuitive, and they, a lot of different people kind of phrase this or characterize this in different ways, but sort of in conjunction with that intuition, they have this like laser beam focus and energy about them that it's like, sometimes it's literally like they meet a person for 5 minutes and they can like see to the depths of their souls, or depths of their soul, that person's soul. So yeah, so I mean, Scorpios like don't really like surface level stuff. I don't know why, but clearly somebody needed to hear this. I don't mean to be fixating on Scorpios, but we're sort of all in the Scorpio realm right now. And like I said, it's big eclipse, fated kind of destiny energy. So the more aware you are of these things, the better. Also a very Scorpionic thing, because, it sort of goes hand in hand. Like Scorpios, they don't like surface level stuff. And they definitely don't like to be in the fog, if you will, or in the smoke and mirrors. And they kind of, one of their superpowers along with their intuition is like being able to see right through the smoke and mirrors, the mirage, the bullshit. Essentially, they don't tolerate bullshit. They see right through it. And they get the reputation of being intense, but that's really because they go with everything, especially people. They go deeper, they dive deeper than any other sign. They're sort of the deepest sign. So in that regard, maybe in a way that like in that scenario that I was just describing, where people have sort of been able to kind of like pull a fast one on you more so, or it felt like it was more difficult for you to kind of catch it in the act, if you will, in the past. This is definitely the type or the period of time where you'll be kind of cutting right through that and seeing right through that, which is amazing. The other thing with that is going back to that scenario that I was describing before. Scorpios are all, I mean, along the lines of things that I've said already, Scorpios are all about, or Scorpionic energy is all about kind of diving deep, and whatever they come across, whatever the energy comes across, especially in terms of the deepest, sometimes the darkest stuff, that we all carry within us energetically. Any level of Scorpio season, especially with the Scorpio eclipse, is going to kind of naturally, sometimes without you doing anything, like you know, I don't know if you've been feeling this lately, but so sometimes it could be like nothing specific even happened recently, but for whatever reason that you really can't explain, you are having something from your past be kind of coming back to the forefront of your mind, even though you haven't seen that person in a really long time, or you sort of thought that you were kind of like over and done with that, that it was water under the bridge, etc., etc. If it's still in your energetic sphere, if, you know, you might not even have realized it, but you were holding on to something about it, like maybe it was upsetting to you in a certain way and you really didn't process that fully out, right now is the time where it will kind of naturally be coming up to the surface. That's exactly what I'm describing. So yeah, so just kind of like ride the waves. I'm just saying all of this, you know, in conjunction with this card. I know this is, I'm going on and on, but yeah, I mean, like, look at this image. She's like literally diving into a cosmic pool of fun. Yeah, so just jump into it. Basically, definitely do not resist it. And this is also like there's a reason. It's basically, it's coming up. It's not coming up to be like knock knock, you know, energetically the universe is in the mood to be annoying with you. No, it's coming up for a divine purpose and for a reason, because there's something, again, there's something that wasn't processed fully. And so, like it or not, the kind of tough, rough reality of the situation is that you have been subconsciously carrying around the energy of that thing or event or hardship or heartbreak or whatever, since it occurred, essentially. And this Scorpio eclipse, especially because it's a full moon and it's a lunar eclipse, which is all about big time, significant, fateful pulling up and out and releasing and letting go of anything and everything that doesn't serve you anymore. So if it's coming up right now, it means that essentially do not push it back down. Like, if I can give you one piece of advice, whatever you do, don't push it back down. Honestly, even if you try, it's probably going to be very difficult at this point, because like I said, everything energetically in the cosmos right now is pushing it up for a reason. So you're going to be like as if you're pushing a boulder up a hill. If you try to be like, no, the universe is going to be like, yes. Okay. Because guess what? When it comes up, then you deal with it and you think about it, or whatever you need to do to kind of like work through it, whether that's more physical in nature because you're not really the verbal type, you know, whether you have that, you can't get that thing out of the forefront of your mind, and so you go do like a really intense workout, or you run it out, if you will, or like go to a boxing gym and knock it out, whatever your style is, or maybe you are more verbal or sort of cerebral, or you get in your head, you get kind of caught up in your head a lot. This would be a great time to either sort of talk it out if you process things a lot verbally, write it out. You know, if you're the creative type, sort of let it be in the forefront of your mind, because if that's where it is right now, that's where it's supposed to be right now, and there's a reason for that. And then put yourself in the direction of your painting canvas or your music or whatever it is for you, you know. But just work with it and work through it, and definitely don't resist it or fight it, because this process, that's the way you transmute that energy. This is the way you transmute shadows with light and into light. That's really what's being called on right now. And it's all about letting go and releasing whatever hasn't been serving you. And even the least spiritual of us can probably understand and relate to the fact that, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but at least for me, when I think about that, like I'm not immune to this. All kinds of things have been coming to the forefront of my mind, and there have definitely been moments where I'm like, seriously? Like, that's so old. I thought we were like done thinking about that, feeling things about that. Why does that still upset me? Blah, blah, blah. And then I realize, you mean to tell me that energetically I've been carrying that shit around for years? Yeah. It's time to like do the work, do the shadow work, do the work that's needed to really let it fly into the cosmos, you know? Stop carrying it around. It's like dead weight. It's like carrying a backpack of fucking rocks around. You might not think that you can feel it or that it's having an impact on you, but trust me, it is. So just trust this time period, trust the process, jump in, don't be afraid. She's got no fear. Think of it as an adventure, and definitely say yes to change. That's another big, huge component of eclipse energy. It is a significant time of change, but it's not, you know, there's nothing to fear. There's no element of this or of it that is negative at all, or to be scared of, or anything. It's all for your greatest and highest good, even though it might not feel that way right now. It most likely actually won't feel that way for a while. Yeah, I'm definitely not an astrologer, but I'm just kind of passing along what I know here. It's eclipse energy, the changes that come into being, you might not actually really truly be aware of the significance of them or the way that they have actually changed your dynamic or landscape or life for the better, until it could be as long as like beginning of next year that you really realize, oh yeah, like, wow, something significant did shift around this time period. I didn't even realize it, etc. So see it as an adventure. Yeah, just understand and know that the wheels of life are always turning. I'm kind of, the tarot card, the Wheel of Fortune, is coming to mind. That's all about kind of faded changes, but they're all for the positive. It's like the wheel of life turning for the better. So like if you feel like you've been experiencing something negative, like I was saying in the beginning, or sort of being in a funk, eclipse season is the perfect time that the universe comes and kind of like shakes up all your stagnant energy. So it's really for all of our benefit. So just lean into it as much as you possibly can. Okay, so the second card here is We the Hathors, Deep Love, Mother's Milk, and Birth as a Portal. Wow, that's so stunning. So this is really a perfect kind of second card to what I was just describing, which is that when we change, it's really, I mean, these significant faded types of life changes are really in themselves like many deaths and rebirths within our lives, within our, you know, the individual lifetimes that we're living in right now. So this is really playing into that, realizing that this rebirth process, it's as if you're going through kind of a transition portal, and yeah, we're all experiencing such significant changes right now. There's all kinds of divine intention within that, even if you don't understand, you know, or you can't really see that too much right now. That's definitely what's at play. And the Hathors are a protective force, an ancient Egyptian kind of protective force. You can sort of see them. They sort of take on this godly celestial army that's sort of always kind of looking out for you and protecting you, which is incredible. And that's really what the part that kind of taps into this deep love and mother's milk, which is, we all know, even just by the words and the language itself, death and rebirth, that's no joke. And sometimes it's really not the easiest. And even if it feels like an adventure and a party, change really isn't easy. It's inevitable, and it's sort of the only constant that we can bank on, but that doesn't make it easy, right? And so in that process, if you really think to yourself that a lot of this old stuff that's coming up is being worked on and worked through so that it can finally and kind of concretely be let go at this point, well then this rebirth process, or you passing through this portal of birth is not easy. And so this is really just telling you and reassuring you and guiding you that you are always guided, you're always protected, and that this is a time more than ever for you to really have deep love for yourself, because I know it sounds cheesy, but love really is the only answer. And love really it starts within you. You can't, I shouldn't say you can't. Lord knows there are lots of people on the planet. I definitely used to be one of them. Maybe you can relate to this. I think we've all been there at some point or another, where you think that the love that you need and the love that you seek is all outside of you. And the reality is that it really isn't. You have that love and that nurturing spirit and energy, regardless of gender, within you. And so this is really calling you right now to take this time period to really take care of yourself. Whether, whatever personal opinions you have about the phrase self-care. I know some people, especially the guys, maybe, not to generalize or stereotype, but you might have sideways thoughts or like roll your eyes mentally at the phrase self-care. Taking care of yourself does not mean that you have to sit in a bubble bath and go or whatever, or like light candles and have a sacred ritual. You don't have to do all those things. If you want to do those things, or those things call to you, by all means, go for it. I fully encourage that. But if you are the type that feels like that sounds absolutely ridiculous and absolutely not, there is no sort of script for taking care of yourself. You taking care of yourself could mean that you're going to let yourself go to some favorite place of yours solo and, call in the troops or your family or whatever support system you need to call in to help you with certain things, or like temporarily take care of something that's usually your responsibility for a pretty, some level of minimal period of time, so that you can just go do something you enjoy on your own. Taking care of yourself could be that simple. It could be as simple as, you know what, I have a bunch of voices in my head that tell me that naps are for ridiculous people and that it's lazy and I'm like not allowed to have that little energy or whatever. But I'm just going to tell all those voices in my head to spare me and bite the dust for right now. I can't believe I just said that. I haven't said that phrase in a really long time. It's a really great one. Yeah, tell the bullshit voices in your head to go bite the dust, and I'm gonna take a fucking nap because I need a nap. Right? Like, taking care of yourself. Yeah. If your body is like screaming at you, like, please stop. Please give me a fucking break for like 30 minutes or an hour or whatever. All the shit that you have to do is going to be exactly where the hell you left it the second we get up from this little cat nap. It's not a big deal, and it's not the end of the world. Please honor that. There's a reason for that. Because the more that you resist that type of sort of integral, I mean, it might sound grandiose to say it this way, but like integral body wisdom. Your body's not yelling at you to do something like that because its favorite thing to do is to get in your way of you accomplishing whatever it is you want to accomplish, okay? It's not you versus your vessel that just like won't cooperate and is annoying. I mean, it's just, that's so insane. That's so ridiculous. A great way to do a little thing called integration is to realize that you, in your mind or whatever part of you identify with, your soul and your body are on the same team. They're part of the same unit. They're part of the same entity, the same physical being on this physical planet, right? So if your body is begging you for something, the more you fight that, the more you try to push through that, the more you resist that, the more difficult everything is going to be for you. I don't know. I think, somebody out there clearly is needing to hear this. So here we go. Have you ever had the experience where it's like it's late in the night or whatever, and you're super exhausted, you're super burnt out, you just like don't have any energy left to give to that particular day? It's like you need to get horizontal physically to try and start to reaccumulate energy. And so you're just like wrapping things up, or maybe you're doing something as simple as like turning out the lights or whatever, and your body is so depleted that you make mistakes that you never would. I hate to even say mistakes, but like you get clumsy and tripped up literally in a way that normally you never would, just because you're tired. Like maybe you come around the corner in your home and you like bump your arm on the wall, or you hit your elbow on something, or you stub your toe, or those types of things. Great indication to basically shut the show down as much as you humanly can, pretty much right away after you sense that type of shit happening. That's your body saying, yeah, I don't have anything left. I don't have anything more that I can give you on this particular day. I really need you to call it. I needed you to call it like an hour or two ago, and you just won't quit. So please, like, please, for the love of God, go the fuck to sleep, okay? Just do it. It's fine. If something is there for you to get done at 11 p.m., it's going to be right where the fuck you left it at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. or whatever. So yeah, stop fighting this vessel of yours that literally takes you everywhere all the time where you want to go, and has been doing so for decades upon decades upon decades, okay? Yeah, consider that little timeout, taking care of yourself session or nap or whatever the hell it is as your thank you present to that vessel of yours. That's like your, it's like your car if you drive a car. If you think that your car is essential to you, think about how much more essential to you this vessel or vehicle that you do everything in is. You get what I'm saying? Like, you put your body vehicle into your motor vehicle to go wherever the fuck it is that you need to go. And sometimes you might be taking better care of the car than you are your body. Something needs to be adjusted. Eclipse season is going to do it. Is going to make the adjustments for you whether you like it or not. So just get on board, embrace it, and stop fighting it, okay? And final, last card here is star bathing, which is really funny because I was talking about baths. I think that's hilarious. Okay, it says light body crystal grid transmission and activation. All right, so look at how pretty that is. So for those of you that resonate with the concept of starseeds, or even those of you who don't and aren't familiar with it, we're all energy. We all have all kinds of energy dwelling and moving within us. You might be familiar with the chakras. Those are the 7 energy centers. There's actually a lot, the 7 are the big ones. There's a lot more than that are kind of sub chakras or smaller ones. I'm not as familiar with those, but anyway, the whole point of this is that you are an energy body, you are a light body. And so going along with everything that I've been saying, more so than I'm just cracking up that this is saying bathing. And I just was telling you, yeah, if you feel inclined to take your first bath of your adult life, knock yourself out. Do it. Okay. If you needed a cheerleader, here I am. But more than that, everyone, we're having a significant wave on the planet currently where everyone's energy and light and their light bodies are being called to kind of ascend and raise your vibration, if you're familiar with that phrase. And just going back to the beginning, like purging all of this kind of, the way that people talk about like the heavy stuff that you carry, metaphorically, symbolically, it in a way more than that phrasing or that verbiage being metaphoric or symbolic, it's energetic, right? So like your heaviest kind of most toxic shit, I mean, it's not always toxic. I mean, sometimes a lot of heavier energies, like we don't choose, right? Everybody's experienced pain and grief and heartbreak and all kinds of really difficult things and difficult emotions that sort of weigh us down, right? But beyond that, there's also this kind of other, the other side of the coin to the heavier, weightier energies and emotions that we don't have a choice about. There's all of the kind of toxic shit that we've been taught or picked up at some point or another. Like shame or shaming other people, criticism, judgment, just negativity, like, just like resentment, bitterness, just all this shit, that really kind of pollutes our energy. It sort of weighs down and creates energy blockages within our light body, within ourselves. And those things manifest as like physical ailments and pain in certain places, et cetera, et cetera. So this is really calling you to sort of, I mean, again, the card is star bathing. So it's sort of suggesting or calling you, I was going to say begging for some reason, you to cleanse your energy, to cleanse your aura, to cleanse your light body, because that energy within you and on the whole planet is ascending. And yeah, is naturally, we're in this wave of vibrations being raised and whatnot. And so in a way, I mean, Lord knows I'm no expert on on any of these particulars as far as like the collective and the planet and whatnot go. But the little that I do know is basically that the more that the planet is kind of in the midst of its own activation, if you will. And so obviously we're all organisms on this planet, and so we're all feeling that. So in a way, it's kind of like the higher and lighter the energy becomes and gets on the planet, the heavier and more difficult it's going to be to hang on to those lower vibrations, or just heavier energies, energetic blockages, etc. So this is sort of suggesting cleanse, however you see fit. Part of that can and is literally cleansing your physical body. I'm not sure if you happen to know this or if you've ever heard this before, but a great way to raise your vibe is like swimming, like being submerged in bodies of water. That can be as simple as showering, or as elaborate as swimming in the ocean, if that's something that's accessible and possible for you, or in a pool or lake or river or whatever, but yeah, so it's not always that, we have this habit of kind of compartmentalizing and thinking, or being under this false impression that something you're going to do for your spiritual essence or spiritual health, if you will, is completely different and separate and has nothing to do with something that you would do for your physical health, right? And although at times those are separate categories, the reality is that everything within you is all connected. It's all energetically connected. The energy is really kind of the connecting force within all these realms. So ways in which you cleanse or sort of upgrade or activate your physical body actually helps you energetically and mentally and spiritually and emotionally, right? Isn't that funny how that is the case? So yeah, this is really just suggesting, I mean, this is just such a perfect lineup and just makes so much sense. Really take care of yourself, and don't be putting wasted or misguided energy into holding on to the old, essentially, like holding on to the old ways you used to think, or old situations that are coming to mind that your old pattern or your old habit would have been was to just push them down or suppress them, or like metaphorically you want to throw them in the corner of the room like dirty laundry or what have you. This is really a time period, and the cards line up with what I'm saying fucking perfectly. You literally can't make this up. That this is the time. This is really the time for out with the old, in with the new. I'm not saying that all of your old stuff has to go, but definitely the things that aren't doing you any good anymore, the heavy shit that you've essentially become like you're so used to carrying it, or sort of having it in the back of your mind, or like, you know, the back of your heart, if you will, like just like pushed so far into the back of the chambers of your brain and heart that you essentially forgot that it was there, and you became kind of numb to it, or what have you. This is really the time where we're all being called to bring that stuff out of the shadows, essentially. So yeah, whether that's emotional baggage for you, whether that's ways of thinking for you, whether that's literally like you're cleaning out your physical closet. You might be called to do that right now. You might have been naturally doing that and just thinking you were spring cleaning. Keep it going, because there's really, it's completely divinely intended right now. Okay, so let me just say that. I'll leave it there. I hope you got something out of this message. If you do, I would really appreciate it if you could like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm, as you can probably tell and see, I just kicked this off, and I'm really excited about it. So yeah, any and all of your wonderful, beautiful support and energy is very, very much appreciated. Okay, I'll talk to you guys soon.